Hello, thank you for watching my channel today. My name's Sarah and my channel is called Your True Shelf. Today I'm doing a new style video which I haven't yet done. I'm just going to try doing some weekly check-ins to talk about what books I've got that week and what I'm reading and what I've finished, rather than doing the kind of haul wrap-up videos, just because we'll just give it a try, see how it goes. So first of all, I'll talk about the books that I hauled this month. So very exciting that our local library has reopened, which I'm so excited about. Like, it's only for the hours that are staffed, so you can't have open access. And for the kids, they do these little grab bags of surprises, so you can pick. You just have like a paper bag of unknown picture books, which you can find at what you get when you get home, which is really cool. And then for the adults, you can just they encourage you not to spend too much time browsing, which was really hard, but I saw a couple of books that I wanted to grab straight away. So the first one of which is Lanny by Max Porter. So this is a book that I know about because I remember Lauren Wade talking about this book so much. I think it was one of her books of the year last year, if not her book of the year last year. It's a really short book. It's written in unusual kind of style. So like it's got sort of bits like this. I don't really know what it's about, apart from I remember there's someone called Dead Papa Toothwort in it. So a village not far of London, belonging to people who live in it and those who lived in it hundreds of years ago, belonging to England's mysterious past and its confounding present, belongs to families dead for generations and those who have only recently moved here, such as the boy Lanny and his mum and dad. But it also belongs to Dead Papa Toothwort, who has woken from his slumber in the woods. Dead Papa Toothwort, who's listening to them all. So I have no idea what it's going to be like, but I just know that I've heard only good things. I don't think I've ever seen a negative review about it, and I really like this new cover that they've got as well. That was the first one that I got. The second one I got is one that I think's probably only just come out in paperback, and that is the Starless by Erin Morgenstern. I've heard mixed reviews of this. So I've read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and I think it was about a 3-star read for me. I wasn't as enamoured with it as lots of people were. But this one, I love the cover. It's beautiful. I've just seen Morgan Long read this and enjoy it. And so this is about a boy called, or a man or a boy, I'm not sure, called Zachary, who finds a book in the library about his own life, and he has to follow the clues inside, and he's guided into like a labyrinth, and then he has to escape the labyrinth and find the ending to his story. And so it sounds like magical realism, kind of like the Night Circus was. And it's a bit of a big old book. It's how many pages is it? 500 pages, and it's got quite small writing as well, but it looks like there is quite a lot of dialogue and stuff in, so hopefully it won't take ages. I really need to have a month where I just focus on my library books, because I've got quite a few. So they were the two I hauled, and then I've got one that I forgot to include in my last haul for some reason, which I got in August, second hand. And it's Autumn by Ali Smith. So this is part of the seasonal quartet of books. The last one's just come out. This is the first one, but I think you can read them in any order. Obviously we're now starting autumn, so this is a good time to read it. And this is the one I think that focuses on Brexit, and it's it was out in 2017, and it's about two people who one is 100 and the other one is born in 1984. So I've only read one other Ali Smith, which was How to Be Both, and I'm just interested to try more. I'm not sure what I think about that one, but I've seen Ali Smith in person like 3 or 4 times, and I really like her. So this looks like it's going to be an easy, quick read as well. So they're the ones that I hauled this week. I'll talk about what I finished. So the only book that I finished this week was Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, and this has been all over BookTube, and I read it on my Kindle. One of the things that I wanted to read it for was my prompt of a book about a woman with a disability for the Reading Women Challenge this year, and the main character, Chloe Brown, has fibromyalgia and causes her to be quite disabled. So fibromyalgia is a condition where you have a lot of chronic muscle pain over your body. You can get symptoms like chronic headaches, fatigue, nerve pain, those kind of things. It's quite a difficult condition to treat. There's no cure for it, so it's something you kind of have to live with. And the premise of the book is that Chloe is 30. She nearly gets hit by a car, and it makes her think, like, if she had got hit by a car, what actually would people say about her if she died? And she realised that she hadn't really got much of a life anymore, and so she wanted to move out of her family home, get a place of her own, and she makes a list of things that she wants to do, like ride on a motorbike, go camping, have meaningless sex, have a drunken night out, like some different things that she wants to do. And then she moves into this building, and there's a guy who is the caretaker of the building who lives in the same building as her, and they end up kind of liking each other, and it goes from there. And it's an interracial relationship, so Chloe Brown is black and the caretaker is white, and it doesn't really touch on race at all, like the discussion of race. It's just kind of a story. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. So I thought the first half was a bit predictable. I did like how Chloe had a disability, because it actually made me think quite, because I see obviously conditions from my job, but it's quite interesting to see characters written with the disabilities, because it's actually not about what they're like with you, it's about what they're like in their day-to-day life. And I spoke to someone this week with fibromyalgia, and it actually made me think about Chloe's experience while I was talking to them, so that was like a definite plus point. The romance was good, the chemistry was good, the tension was good, but the writing was fine, wasn't amazing. So this is the first in the series of 3 as well. So the next one is Take a Hint, Danny Brown, that's about Chloe's sister, and then there's one more about Eve, who's the other sister, which comes out at the beginning of next year, I think. So yeah, so I would read the next ones in the series. So that's the only book that I read, and then I'm currently reading 4. So I will just run you through what I'm currently reading. So the first one is Happy by Fearne Cotton. I have been reading this for quite a while, because it's not really a book that you just sit down and read from cover to cover. It's a book that you dip in and out of. There's lots of different, this is all about mental health basically, and there's different chapters on sort of happy mind, happy body, gosh, I can't remember all of them now. Happy family, happy face, happy now. So there's quite a lot of sort of mindfulness in here, quite a lot about creativity, about doing your own thing and not really minding what other people think, about spending your time how you want to. And it's got quite a lot of little exercises in, so it will say, like, for instance, there was one last night, write a letter to your body. They had like a sentence, it was like, finish this into a little short story. There's things like write a list of things that make you happy, draw it on a thermometer, like different moods that you have and what triggers those moods, and different things like that. So there's quite a lot of sort of exercises. I think it's a really helpful book. So I've got about 80 pages left, which I could easily sort of finish in one go, but I think it's best if it's a bit more drawn out than that. The other thing I really like is it's got, every so often it will have this little symbol, and when you get the symbol, just trying to find it, you have to fill in this, which is like a mood sheet. You have to just put a little dot where your mood is on that chart, which is actually quite interesting to observe over the amount of time that you've been reading. So next one I'm reading, I literally just dipped into it and then I sort of changed my mind. It's got the dust jacket off, but it's Expedition by Steve Backshall. So this is a book, Steve Backshall is like a presenter and nature naturalist, I guess, and this is a year where he tries to go to 12 of the most unexplored places on Earth. So they literally think they're the first ever people to have gone to these places, and it's sort of the travel writing about that. There's a chapter for each place, and I really love his documentaries, and I'd be really interested to read this, but for some reason when I started it, I just don't think I was in the right mood, so I've only read 25 pages, so I need to get back and finish that one. And then the last one I'm currently reading is Testament of Youth by Vera Brittain. This is a big book. This is 660 pages. It's divided into 3 parts. And this book is a memoir of Vera Brittain, who was just about to go to Oxford University in 1914. And she'd worked really hard for her place because it was really difficult for women to, to get into universities at that time. And she got her place. She'd just gone to the university. Her brother was going there as well, and his best friend. And then war broke out, and a lot of the boys went off to war. And she felt like she couldn't just stay at the university and not contribute. So she decided to volunteer as a nurse. And she does that. She postpones her place at Oxford, and she goes off to locally and then to London to do nursing. And I believe she hasn't yet, but I believe she then goes off to France, and she has to face like her family members and her boyfriend being away at war and what that's like. So I read the first part, and then I felt it's really, really well written, and it reads like a story, but because it's really sad, I needed to have a break before I went into the second part. So that's when I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, just something light, and I've just started part 2. So once I finish part 2, I'll have another book in the middle to kind of break it up. So that's what I'm reading. And then I'm listening to Such a Fun Age by Kiley Reid. Had a little blank there, which is my 3rd book of the book along list this year. And I'm absolutely loving it so far. So everybody's talking about it, so everybody probably knows what it's about already, but just in case you don't, it starts off with a girl called Amira, who is a babysitter for... So Amira's black. She's a babysitter for a white family who are very wealthy, and the mum calls Amira quite late when she's out at a party one night and asks if she can come over because there's a family emergency and take the little girl who's 3, just like take her to the shop or something nearby just so they can take her out the house for a little while. Amira comes and she gets Breonna, the little girl. She takes her to this shop, and then she is accused by another parent and then the security guards of having kidnapped her. And it all kind of, there's a video of the event, and then events sort of spiral from there, and it's so good. Like, I will talk about it properly when I do my wrap up, because I think there's like a lot to say about this book, but I'm absolutely loving it so far. I've only got another hour to go, and I'm like desperate to finish it. Every time I have to turn it off, I'm like, because I really want to, it's really building and building, and I just want to know how it's going to end. So yeah, it's a really good book. So that's everything that I've got finished and am reading at the moment. Let me know what you think of the format, whether you prefer it like this or whether you prefer kind of my traditional format. Let me know what you've been reading, what you've been buying, anything that you really enjoyed in the last week. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.